I'm not here to teach you anything new. I'm just here to remind you of the things you already know. These are usually the hardest things to remember. When I was a little girl, latchkey kid had a different meaning. I used to have a key around my neck, and I was watching from our apartment window in Bucharest for the car that brought us food. I was alone at home, and this was my job to ensure we had enough food to eat. I knew where my brothers kept the money. I snatched it and rushed downstairs to stand in the line for whatever they used to sell that day. Nescafe, a loaf of bread, bananas, a can of Pepsi. Standing in line for these basics at 5 a.m. is probably what drove my ambition and resilience. I was expected from a very young age to go over many more obstacles than anyone in his or her right mind would ever do, to prove myself. Why were we standing in line? Because Romania during the 90s was under a lot of debt, and our president, Nicolae Ceausescu, had decided to put an austerity regime onto the country. There are lines for cooking oil, lines for just about anything you can imagine. I, together with millions of other children, we had the funds, just so that maybe we had enough food for the family and for the nation. It wasn't all that bad. I have amazing memories for the corn and grapes and beef harvest, from shepherding goats and feeding pigs and ducks at my grandma's place. But the bottom line was, we were missing something, a lot of things. And at home, I was the one standing in line for whatever they used to hand us that day. I was 5 or 6 when I started dancing. I took it very professionally. I was practicing almost every day. I danced on television. Our team danced in front of the president, Nicolae Ceausescu, and at a very fragile age, I was vaccinated so that I wouldn't risk his life with a cold. Unfortunately, my vaccination didn't help much because his ambition costed him his life. The austerity regime and the secret police ended up in revolution. His execution was the last in the ring. I became a professional dancer. I had tested in front of an official commission and continued practicing dance in the country and at international competitions. I too had ambition. I wanted to prove myself. I thought I can be anything I wanted to be, but the way was not clear. I wanted to be an ambassador. But this was Eastern Europe during the 1980s. And I was told, you cannot be an ambassador. Maybe you can be the advisor of an ambassador. Okay, then I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to be a judge. And I was told, you cannot be a judge because you are a woman. And then it came time to go to university. And I had to give up a very important part of my childhood, my very soul. I was told, you cannot do well in university and be a professional dancer. So I stopped dancing. That was one of the most painful moments of my growing up, giving up this essential part of myself. I was amongst the first to enter my university. I studied international business and economics. And I was so tired of these words that I told myself, I am going to become a business owner so that no one can tell me what I can and cannot do. I was 23 years old when I came to Dubai alone, which made it difficult to get the visa. I found a business partner, and together, with no financial help, in the middle of a recession, we opened a marketing firm. In time, we started competing with some of the biggest advertising agencies, gaining a set of clients everyone would only dream of. This was a tornado of an activity, and I zoomed in on our business, and I forgot to zoom back out. Remember how I told you that no one was going to teach me what to do? When I became a controller, I thought I can control everything. The reality is you can only control a tiny bit of what life has to give you. Maybe you can control the line you're standing, but you can never control what life what if they give you Nescafe and you wanted Starbucks? I focused on my work. That's one part of my life that I thought I could control. And I forgot to zoom back out. I was on autopilot, enjoying my business, but missing so many other things in between, wanting to do so much more. I became my business. And I was sad at times thinking, what all do I miss? I thought this was normal that day, but it was not. It was burnout. Burnout means you are forgetting what is essential to yourself. And if you are young enough and you never experienced it, then it means you still remember what is essential. But if you do ever forget, I'm here to remind you how it looks like. Frustration, irritation, stress. Where's my Starbucks? Nothing worries you up anymore. I became aggressive. I've done things I don't really want to do. And everyone could see that because I was showing on the outside that something was really wrong inside of me. There are so many things I wanted to do. Dancing, who ever thought about dancing? And that's just one thing. Your life is full of needs and wants and desires. When you forget about yourself, life and your partner has an amazing way, a very ingenious way of reminding you. Pain. One day, as I was swimming in Greece, I felt a massive pain on my right arm. It was hurting a lot for no apparent reason. The pain was so bad that I couldn't sleep at night. I started searching for reasons. And I was told my C4, C5, C6 vertebrae were pressing on a shooting pain on my right arm. And like I always do, I took massive action. I did physio, I used the chiropractor, osteopathy, strength exercises, muscle building, but nothing really worked. I became stronger. There was six-pack. The pain, it kept coming back. And then one day I realized I had made pain my new normal. I was looking for ways of how do I solve my physical pain. But I kept coming back to life the way I always did, like a burned out overachiever. I hadn't yet the people. This was not just pain. It was a signal. My body was telling me, this is not just because of a pinch, love. My back was telling me, take time to see what you and how you feel. Prioritize what you wanted to do when you knew who you are before the noise took over. My issue were not my C5 or C6 vertebrae, but all the parts of me that I had left behind. And once I started sorting for my emotions and my traumas, the pain magically disappeared. So I had an aha moment. I came here to share with you. Why was I in pain? Because my attention was not where it most needed to be. My attention was on my business and the society's noise around. But the rest of me, all my desires, I had ignored. Now imagine if attending to your successes without attending to yourself, it is a form of failure. New needs and wants appeared in my life, but I couldn't slow down to enjoy them. And that is a big problem, because what you pay attention to becomes you. Or as author Earl Nightingale said, you become what you think of. What you focus on grows. And what you neglect, you lose. My business grew, engagements grew, but I was not growing. And I was in pain. In this world, there are 1,000,000,001 things taking us away and molding our attention from what is essential, keeping us away from the person we most want to be. And in the book, The Distracting Minds, we hear about goal interference, which is anything that can keep you away from doing the things you want to do. Like static, that stops you from hearing what you want to hear. And the interferences can be of an external and internal nature. In my day-to-day busyness, I had forgotten who was I and what else I wanted to do. I forgot to cross-correct, to delegate, and to focus on all my other desires. I knew what I wanted to do, or so I thought, but I didn't know how to manage it. Thankfully, my body was there listening, and when it couldn't get through any other way, it woke me up in pain. I was missing myself, my health, my clarity, my place to think and breathe and grow. Instead, I focused on control, just like I used to do when I was a little girl, standing in lines for what other people gave me. But who was ever going to hand me myself? Because in this life, you can stand in line for almost anything except you. And leadership is not about standing in line. True leadership is self-leadership. It's not about control, getting things done, having the right vision, or the perfect communication. Self-leadership is about the thing that we lack the most today, and that is attention. Self-leadership means paying attention to yourself, your needs, your journey, your growth. Nothing is static, so pay attention. What you want today, you might not want in a year's time. That is the nature of growth. And growth demands that you let go of what no longer serves you. And you finally hold on to those things which still make sense. So ask yourself, are you prioritizing your dreams or someone else's? Because what you focus on grows. I wanted my successes, I still do, but success without self is empty. And burnout isn't failure, it's your soul asking you to better focus. Your habits must evolve because there is more of you waiting to be discovered. Your goal is still there, hiding beneath the noise. So here's what I came to tell you today. Pay attention to your dreams. Focus on your desires. And if you don't like what they find you in that place, step out. And it's okay to go empty-handed for a while, because what we want those isn't handed over to us. And if you are in pain, listen, ask him, what are you trying to teach me? You are here around your neck, just like I had when I was a small girl in Beavers. It takes you to a place where you can breathe and sing and drum, and that place is called home. And where is home? Anywhere you can remember just how I'm used to that.